Hello, Palma. Good to see
Hello,
you.
Christina. How are you?
Pretty good,
I'm
thank you.
humbled and it's a great pleasure to be here. I'm thankful to the entire community of the womb and you for coming up with such a beautiful initiative in a time like this, a much needed one. I'm humbled. Thank you.
Me too. Thank you for being here. Where are you? Let's locate you. Where are you right now?
Yeah, actually, right now, and I'm here living in Kolkata. Since my birth, I'm here in this city, the city of joy, which is popularly called the city of joy. It's in India. It's a very popular city. Actually, this city is brimming with colors, with life, with people. But right now, it's not so very joyful because we are still in a lockdown state, um, mostly stuck in our homes. But we are trying to be positive. We are trying to come out from this gloomy situation that we are in through various initiatives such as these, one of these. And we are every day we are seeing like people from various artists who are there. They're coming up with newer forms of art to entertain people in this lockdown state. They're coming with new forms of art, be it films, be it songs, be it new music, be it poetry, new novel, something newer forms of art, painting, and they are coming up to entertain people during such an hour of crisis. How is
That
it
is,
going at your place, Christina? How is it?
uh,
How the situation? How about
uh,
the situation there?
in Berlin, it's we're still allowed quite a lot of people to be in a open space together, but these are changing pretty often. There are some people who want to organize, for example, open airs, and they have to
Yeah,
postpone in
yeah,
the last moment because the rules are changing. But I live in Neukölln, and I have to say that I don't necessarily feel it that much. People are quite respectful. They're maintaining the distance. Everybody's wearing masks um, in indoors, in shops, and so on. So I don't feel necessarily that is so pressing as it was at some point. Also, it depends on the area. There are areas that are more affected. Personally, I have to say that I have spent a lot of time in the house anyway, and I try to be as conscious about it as I can. My lovely flatmate is also a really conscious person, so I feel safe. And yeah, it's depends. There are a few things that change from time to time. Like
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
there's some
I understand.
strange manifestations, street manifestations happening, and but yes, I would say that I'm pretty peaceful of where I am at the moment. The rules are not so tight, and Germany is, as I can see, an example of how these situations were handled in a manner of um, prioritizing the scientific approach. But I would like to know more a bit about your background and how you
Yeah.
grew up in Kolkata. And I know that you are a teacher. And what's the story about that choice?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I grew up in Kolkata since my birth, and it's a place close to my heart. I'm blessed to be born in this city because this city has helped me immensely to become what I am today. You know, Kolkata is an enriching city filled, brimming with people, brimming with newer people, and this is the cultural hub. Now, this culture is a very contradictory term, I may say. What the culture may mean to you, it may mean totally different to me and
Yes.
to others as well. So I will not go much into this term, or I would not go into the terminology of culture today. But to me, what is the most lovely aspect of my city, I may say that here in the denizens of Kolkata always feel that they are in accordance, or they are in a strange web, always connected with people. That people may belong to different culture, may belong to different countries, but they are one. you know to me, my city is the emblem of unity, if I may say. So since my growing years, poetry was an integral part of my existence. It was first harbored, or it first got instilled in me from my mother. I can recollect the fond memory of my school days when she used to feed me and would recite some of the popular lines of a very popular poet who is known all over the world. And he is a very eminent poet, or you may say he's a legendary figure across the world. He is none other than Shukumar Ray. And she would recite some popular rhymes of Shukumar Ray from his noted book Abol Tabol. Actually, Abol Tabol is all about nonsense rhymes, which are actually not nonsense, but very filled with sense. Like, it's for all here, for children till middle-aged people till the elderly. So it's a very popular book, uh, especially in Bengali, but it got translated to English and maybe some other languages. And she would also recite lines from noted authors and poets like Rabindranath Tagore, Kazi Nazrul Islam. It first got instilled from her in me. And when I was growing up in my school days, I still can recollect, in the very, when the, towards the fag hours of my school days, like in each period towards the end, I would spend time with my notebook, wherein I used to, just doodle or just scribble some lines, which is there in my head. And that got into a poem when I thought of it at some points later in my life. So
And you
poetry was
published,
always there with me.
yes,
So maybe
and then
from
decided to publish a book about it recently. When was it published,
yes,
and
yes,
how
yes,
did you get to this courageous move,
yeah,
actually bringing it to
yeah.
life?
Actually, lately it got published from Amazon and Kindle. It is named Protibimbo, which is reflection in English. Okay, so this reflection, actually, it's a collection of 10 Bengali poems, very short ones, 10 Bengali poems, which harps upon the inner emotions, the hidden emotions in our psyche, which often goes hidden. And I harped upon those aspects in my ebook. I published it in the format of ebook so that many people can read it at a go. And it's a short one, so short poems are there. um, and this coming up with this book, this actually, it's hugely inspired by my students, I would say. They would always they inspired me, ma'am, why not try out a book, let's try out a book. um, uh, your poetry will find a place
Yes.
where we all can have a share of it. And um, uh, this inspiration was initiated by my students and my best friend, whom I fondly call my soulmate. She is Asmi. She and her mother and my mother, um, they all inspired me immensely to take this move. And
It's
in
great.
this way, I can.
I wonder how the Bengali heritage influenced your writing, and specifically because it has such a huge component part of worshiping the divine feminine, and how did that intertwine into your writing? Because you mentioned hidden
Yeah,
emotions, and I would like to connect these dots of divine feminine and the hidden emotion, how the divine feminine brings the hidden emotions carefully to the surface. And
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I would say that herein there is this interesting thing. As you just came up with the term feminine, actually, I'm an active member of an NGO called Gender Benders, wherein we work with a team of vibrant people and we work towards gender sensitization. Okay, and this feminism also is an interesting aspect which helped me to grow. In my university days, I had a special paper on gender and literature, wherein I came to know more about feminism and the waves of feminism. And it inspired me hugely, especially I'm immensely drawn towards Virginia Woolf and many others who paved the way. Herein, I would also like to name Simone de Beauvoir, who also inspired me immensely. Uh, this feminism thing has is you know inspirational, because it is actually true feminism is about working hand in hand, trying to work towards the goodwill of both the sexes, both men and women. Actually, if I consider the third gender as well, okay, it's working towards the betterment of all. It speaks of gender equality. There is no such ism as such which you can you can coin yourself to be. Like, there is no such ism according to me, according to my dictionary. So I believe in gender equality, and being an active member of Gender Benders, we are working towards that, to bring in gender equality. And we are trying to come out and trying to pave a new way with a team of vibrant people varying from different backgrounds.
I love this
So,
idea of benders, because when you bend something, it's you practically try to make somebody else aware of something, of a reality or a part of reality of which they're not previously have been aware. And this is a very tricky thing to do. Usually
and
specialized people
it's
such as,
about also, it's about breaking the myths, breaking
yes.
the constructs. Yeah.
Yeah, which kind of myths would come up to you right now that you're working on as gender benders, and how gender benders, I really love how it sounds. It has this sonority
Yeah.
and playfulness to
This
it.
name was, this was firstly, this was the brainchild. We work with many people who are an integral part of Gender Benders, but firstly, this name was the brainchild of Asmi, who is my best friend, my soulmate. Actually, this name first, you know, got its birth from her,
Yes.
and then
And
we
how
became
do
a
you
part of it.
how do you work? Because I'm guessing there's, I know that is India. I know by now I've learned a bit that it's really genderedized
Yes,
society.
very much, very much,
So
very much.
how are you doing? How what are the methodologies that you would say that you use in order to bridge this and bend the gap and be like, okay, this
See,
is a bit,
if you consider me, I would say that I try to break the myths that are associated with whatever that are associated with gender. Um, I may say, but at times I am successful, and at times I am left frustrated in the sense that it's not happening. But we have to work hand in hand. All women, all men and women, and the other gendered people also, the third gender, if I may consider, we have to work hand in hand to, to come up with this equal status. We are equal.
Yes, I
Okay,
agree that we need
so
to both work on this, but I also wonder how much of this specifically of genders and equality is shown in your poems, and if you touch upon this duality, or you focus more on our common sort of emotions that we share.
yeah, actually, in my, I have lately come up with my book of poems, which I had said that I came up with my collection of 10 Bengali poems, which in English is reflection, and in Bengali it is called Protibimbo. It's a reflection of hidden emotions within our psyche. Okay. So it lately got published from Amazon and Kindle in the format of ebook. Therein, I tried to harp upon these emotions which is there in each one of us. Okay. So from there, I would like to recite a poem, and this poem is very close to my heart, because this poem has lately been transformed into a song, and it has been done by my student, one of my students, Rishi Raj Odhikari. He transformed this into a song. He composed and he sang this poem out, and we got released this thing, and it got released from my YouTube channel, When Poetry Beckons. My YouTube channel is named When Poetry Beckons, and from there we released it on 5th of September in the year 2020, which is, and every one of us are aware that it's fondly celebrated as Teachers' Day.
Yes,
So,
it sounds amazing. I
yeah,
would be honored to hear it. Yes.
yeah. Firstly, I would, as you said, that I would like to recite the Bengali poem of mine, and I would explain the meaning of this in English. It is entitled Jonak Jole. Jonak is firefly, fireflies. Okay. জোনাক জলে জোনাকিরা কি বলে, কি বলে যায়, নিঝুম রাতের নিস্তব্ধতায় কান পেতে শুনেছ কখনো, শুনতে কি পেয়েছো জোছনার আলিঙ্গনে প্রেম তাকে ছুঁয়ে গেছে কি কখনো, ছুঁয়ে গেছে কি দুঃখে জোনাকিরা পাখা মেলেছে কভু, মেলেছে কি? That's it. This is actually, it speaks of understanding
Lovely.
emotions, understanding emotions which is there within us. It is metaphorized through the image of fireflies. It is as if, is there someone who can follow your heart, who can listen to your heart? Have you ever asked whether that one can listen to your heart when you are in your deepest agony and darkest pain, when you are in love? Can that entity feel the essence that is harboring inside you? And this is the essence of this poem.
It's
So,
amazing because usually we tend to feel really lonely in those moments of agony, as you put it.
right.
And those are the
Actually,
moments when we attend.
I may say that it is actually a part of ourself. It is asking ourself only whether our self can listen to us, because at times our self also doesn't respond when we are in deepest pain and darkest agony. Our self also fails to respond. So this is, you may say, a call to ourself,
Yes,
if I say.
it definitely sounds like agony is an emotion which is kind of an effect of feeling disconnected, as you say,
Yeah,
of
yeah,
not being
yeah,
able to hear or see or get in contact with our core or
yeah,
higher selves or higher awareness, however we want to put it, God and so on, or gods. And I wonder what is, because you mentioned that it's such a, that these emotions are hidden deep in our psyche. And I think
Yeah,
your way into psyche was into your own psyche, and analyzing and observing it in more detail was
it's actually, yeah,
your pigmentation, your probably, I don't know how to say, encounter with pigmentation, skin pigmentation in
yeah,
your life, which
yeah,
probably I would assume made you quite self-aware, specifically because it's such a stigma in your society, especially regarding to women. And I want to know more about the vitiligo, what it is, and how
yeah.
what did you extract from this observation behind, of course, great insights about these hidden emotions, which opened up to you while you all there.
Yeah, actually, I feel elated to talk about this in such a noble platform like this. So, firstly, I would like to thank you once again for coming up with this. I would rather acknowledge myself to be a proud vitiligan. Okay, I am a proud vitiligan because this vitiligo has a stigma associated with it. It's not a disease. Actually, it's rather deficiency, you may say, a deficiency which is caused due to pigmentation. Okay. And it's not genetic for many of us who are with this vitiligo. Like, if you ask me, it's not genetical. Okay. Uh, because it happened at a greater later part of my life when I was studying in the very first year of my university days. It's roughly in the year 2011-12 when I first noticed that, or when my eyes caught its glimpse, you may say, that probably I need to consult a doctor, wherein I went to a center which uh, cures skin diseases and all. Therein, I got detected with this, and I also um, used to take medicines to cure this. But now, when I am uh, going through this and going through this treatment thing is also at times very, what you may say, very not so very optimistic a thing, because there is a radiation thing which is being given on the patches wherein you are infected with, or rather wherein this has spread. Okay, like say in your hands, in your palms, in your legs, they will give radiation, and which is not very good for your health, for your skin. It may have side effects. So initially I used to undertake these sessions, but now when I have taken a few sessions, I decided one day that I would not go for treatments, because I did some research on this and found out that maybe some very little percentage of it may get cured, because vitiligo cannot be cured. It will stay as a companion throughout your life. And you what you have asked me, that this vitiligo has changed my approach towards life. I now could celebrate myself. I could love myself more, and I am more strong from within. Because at times, this situation like this, or situations like these, help you to grow more from within. Herein, I would also like to acknowledge my best friend, my soulmate, Asmi, and her mother, who helped me immensely to come out of this situation. They would always encourage me and inspire me. My best friend and a wonderful bunch of students, and my mother and people around, some of the people around. I am blessed enough that I could do this, and today I stand strong, um, with arms wide open, and I could accept myself and celebrate myself. And it got triggered due to this vitiligo. So this vitiligo also helped me to become what I am and what I wanted to be.
That's amazing. And it just came to my mind that you are such a hero. You are representing this truthfully harrowing journey that something that something that challenged you so much, especially where you were born and the circumstances, and you found that strength within. And I think what I'm extremely grateful is that you called it your companion, because that's such a good way of putting it, because it is these challenges are our companions, our sort of like invisible soulmates
Absolutely.
that
Yes.
help us push through, help us achieve that hidden high place where our strength hides, not really hides, but it wants us to come on an adventure, invites us for the adventure. And I think this companion called Vitiligo in your life was an adventure caller, and made
Yes.
you who you are today. And I'm really thankful for this session. I think we're approaching the end. Just to make it as short as possible, I think we've introduced your universe quite well, and definitely everyone who will try to reach to you, they will be able to. Is there anything else that you feel that you want to bring out at the end of this session?
Yes, and I'm elated to be here today, Christina. And I would also like to congratulate you for coming up with newer initiatives like this. I wish you every success in your life and the entire community of the womb for helping you and me to come up with our words that is
That's
hidden in
amazing.
us, and so that we can inspire ourselves and celebrate ourselves. Thank you
Absolutely.
very much. I'm
Thank you
humbled,
too.
and I wish you every luck, success, and good health.
You
Thank you
too.
so much.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye.